Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. Early voting in the November 7th constitutional amendment election is underway at the Justice of the Peace courtroom on Jefferson Street. The ballot contains 7 propositions. Early voting began Monday, October 23rd, and continues through November 3rd. Currently, 31 votes have been cast as of Tuesday afternoon. Hours for early voting are 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. daily, except Tuesday, October 31st, and Thursday, November 2nd. Early voting on those days will be open 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. All 12 polling places in the county will be open November 7th, the day of the election, from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. Propositions being considered include Proposition 1, disabled veterans' property taxes. The proposition would allow potential property tax exemptions for certain disabled veterans and their surviving spouses. Proposition 2, home equity borrowing, would ease restrictions on borrowing against home equity. Proposition 3, state appointees' term would be limiting the term of the unsalaried state appointees whose terms have ended but who have not yet been replaced. Proposition 4, constitutional challenges to state law would require Texas courts to notify the Attorney General of any constitutional change to state laws. Proposition 5, sports team charitable raffles would allow more sports team charitable foundations to hold benefit raffles. Proposition 6, deceased first responder property taxes would allow property tax exemptions to surviving spouses of first responders killed in the line of duty. Proposition 7, financial institutions promotional raffles would allow banks, credit unions, and savings and loan institutions to conduct promotional raffles. The Texas Economic Development Council announced the recipient of the annual Community Economic Development Awards for 2017. The awards were presented at a special awards luncheon at the Texas Economic Development Council's annual conference in Houston. Sulphur Springs Hopkins County EDC received the Community Economic Development Award for communities with a population of 10,001 to 20,000. Sulphur Springs was in competition with Anna, Athens, Bay City, Brenham, Brownwood, Converse, Forney, Hidalgo, Katy, and Waller County. Nominees were judged on 5 criteria: innovativeness, transferability, community commitment and leverage, measured objectives, and secondary benefits. The Community Economic Development Award program recognizes exceptional contributions of TEDC member cities toward the economic viability of their community and the state of Texas through creativity, leadership, and partnership in the achievement of business retention, business recruitment, and community involvement. The TEDC provides information, education, and legislative services to its members to foster the expansion of existing businesses, the location of new firms, and the development of strategies that promote a positive business climate in Texas. With more than 830 members, the TEDC is the largest state economic development association in the nation.
It is almost time to do the stew. The Hopkins County Chamber of Commerce sponsors this massive contest every October. To explain a little bit more about it, Kim and Amber, who are Chamber board members.
And with us is Kim Beck. Good morning, Kim.
Good morning.
Hi. Do you work with Leslie at the Chamber?
Well, I actually work at City National Bank, and I am on the board of directors for the Chamber. I work very closely with Leslie quite a bit.
Okay.
She is a very sweet lady, does a lot of hard work, and we certainly appreciate her.
She does. She does it all with a smile.
She does.
But when she has her mind set to have something a certain way, it's going to happen that way, including certain changes to the stew contest, which have all worked out to be great.
I absolutely agree. We are tickled to death.
That's great. Well, 165 pods, is that right?
At the last I heard, that was pretty close, and hopefully we might have a few more. There's a tiny wiggle room for stew sites that we may still be able to fit people in. So come on out.
So as it is right now in Buford Park, where the stew sites are set up or will be set up come Friday night, we're still all on the same side of the road.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We're hopefully in the future we would love to branch out, but we'll have to do some planning on that.
Okay. Well, the territory that the stew sites take up, it's a pretty large place.
It is very large and takes you a while to navigate.
What I like about the Friday night when it's dark and you've got some campfires going and some maybe lights that people have rigged up, it's almost like a little wonderland by going along the sidewalks through all of that.
It is very fun. When you get home, you smell like smoke, but it's in a good way, and it looks like the weather is going to really, really help us out.
Okay. Well, I see that you are wearing one of our current T-shirts, and this one has a big stew pot on the front and
yes,
a star.
ma'am. It says, "Come and take it." It's come and taste it to go with the flag that says "Come and take it," and it does list the 48th annual stew contest.
Okay.
It's a really nice fitting cotton, dark aqua shirt, and I did bring with us,
show us that one.
The Hopkins County Do the Stew shirt. It doesn't say Do the Stew, but that is what we hashtagged it, and these are very nice and very warm. We might have a couple left. I seriously doubt it because it is from last year, but of course, it's cold enough to wear it this morning, so I did.
Well, I like the looks of that because it looks vintage. And it already is vintage because it's last year's, and it's a classic.
It is a classic. It is a classic. And that green is hard to miss. And, well, I'm not a big fan of Mountain Dew, but the logo is very cute. And
it looks like the Mountain Dew label.
It does look like it.
Well, what can we talk about? And we're expecting someone else in on the interview.
Yes, Amber Gilbert is probably coming in on 2 wheels anytime now.
Okay.
And she is held up by traffic. But we are going to talk about what time you can get there, what time you can get some stew, where you can get your tickets at, lots of event items that full morning of entertainment.
Well, we think sometimes mistakenly that everybody already knows how it's done when you do the stew.
Right.
But there are some newcomers. So let's find out when they need to get there. Please don't come at 12.
Oh, no. At 12 o'clock, it's slim pickings.
Come early and enjoy the atmosphere of the stew.
Yes.
That will be Saturday, October 28th.
Yes, ma'am. And we start serving stew at 10:45. And lots of the most popular stews will be out, or there will be a line till it runs out, probably very soon after that. There is, of course, always new stew. So, yes, you might get your favorite bowl of stew, but you might want to try something new.
Absolutely. Sometimes when people get in the long line and then they're kind of later getting onto the stew site, they have to get stew from wherever there still is some in pots, because believe me, these big pots of stew, and you're going to have to make at least 10 gallons, is that right?
I believe so.
Okay. Then it's surprising how fast that goes when you're dipping it up a bowl at a time.
Yes, yes. And the super stews are always very popular because, of course, they are a previous winner and they possibly could win again. And if you tried it before and you liked it, then I'm certainly going to try that again.
And try to get down there to that pot of stew.
Yes.
Now we're going to welcome Amber. Tell us who you are.
Good morning. I'm Amber Gilbert. I'm the director for the Chamber, and I'm the marketer for Rock Creek Health and Rehab.
Okay, thank you for sliding in here this morning.
Thank you.
There is so much excitement connected with the Hopkins County Stew World Champion Cook-Off.
Very fun.
Really, I looked online yesterday, and the Food Network is still listing some local recipes, winning recipes from past, from Hopkins County cooks. Once you taste it here, the memory of that is taken all over the world wherever you go.
Yes, it is.
It is. Our 50th is coming up in 2 years. So we're hoping maybe to get the Food Network involved in that whenever we...
Okay. That's wonderful.
I have also reached out to the day tripper. He has made a visit to Sulphur Springs, and I think it would really be exciting for him to make a return visit during our 50th.
You are so right.
Yes, it would be. recipe.
So plans are underway for the 50th already.
It'll be big.
Okay.
One of the biggest things for the 50th, and most exciting to me, we are going to try to write a book. So anyone and everyone that has been a part of the stew in the past, from the beginning to what it is now, if you have stories, write those up, type those up, send them to the chamber or drop them off at the chamber. We're hoping to have something put together by the 50th to share all the stories.
The year of the monsoon. Do y'all remember that one? Oh, my goodness. That wasn't very many years ago.
No, it was not.
When you come, let's pretend we're newcomers and we're going to tell people how this is done. You come to Buford Park and there will be more than one serving area. Is that right? Ticket and serving
There are
area?
several ticket booths. You can pre-buy tickets already. They are at the banks and at the chamber. You can stop and get a ticket and have that done. And then you will come and give your ticket at the serving booth, and they will give you your whole setup.
Which is plate, bowl, spoon, cheese, crackers. Is that right?
Yes.
You take off. Just go in there wherever you wish and start. You can get a little bit of stew so you can taste everybody's, or you can get a whole bowl.
Yes.
You can. And I recommend tasting several.
That's what I was going to say. Get a half a scoop and go to the next one. And then when you find your favorite, if you're lucky enough, you can go back and get a whole bowl.
That is right. And it's fun to just kind of wander through and see people that you know that are cooking. Maybe you didn't know that they did stew.
Yes. Our community comes together in a huge way to promote Sulphur Springs and the outlying areas in Hopkins County and from far away. We have
So true.
lots of support.
There's a lot of school reunions or class reunions that happen at the stew cook-off. I know our class, the class of 98, started cooking when we were in high school. And that's our annual get-together. When they come back, the class gets together and has a site. So
How smart.
it works out really well because, everybody's getting good food and everybody gets to see each other and,
Right, and get some of the color of
community.
Hopkins County as it is right now. I think family reunions are also planned a little bit around this, especially if the central figures of the family are doing the cooking. Everybody wants to be there and help out and then get to stroll around.
Yes.
How much is a ticket?
Tickets are $5 per bowl, and that's all you can eat.
Okay.
Crackers and cheese are not all you can eat. They come, I believe it's 2 sticks of cheese and 2 packs of crackers. Those aren't replenished, but your bowl is yours till the stew is gone.
Okay. So don't toss it after that first taste.
No, don't.
Hold on to that bowl.
Hold your bowl.
And what about this cheese? Who supplies the cheese? I think it's the Southwest Dairy
I believe it is.
folks.
Yes, Southwest Dairy is providing that, and then Saputo is supplying the truck, the refrigerated truck for us to
Okay.
keep everything cool.
That's great.
From the couple of days before up until the day of.
Okay. Now, people prepare the stew based on their own recipe, tried and tested recipe, I'm sure. Or you may use your grandmother's, or you may use Uncle Jim's recipe or a modification of it. But there's chicken and there's beef.
Yes. There's always been more chicken than beef. I think the original was chicken. So there's always way more chicken than beef. I personally like the chicken the best. I like mine a little tiny bit sweet. So of course, I've got my eye on the ones that I want to test.
I agree. I do the same. You kind of pick your sites and find your good stew, and the next year you're looking for that site again to try to get a bite of their stew. And I usually go for the chicken too.
But exploring is so fun.
Oh, that is right too. And in addition to the best chicken and the best beef, as rated by the judges, there's also the campsite awards.
Absolutely.
Yes, there are.
It's a pretty hot competition.
It
We have people that
Decorating.
really, really get into it.
Not just decorating, but having everything very vintage, such as one particular one who continues to win the Super Stew every single year on the campsite. We will see how it shakes out this year.
I think people have some new tricks up their sleeve. Same teams keeps winning each year, it seems. They've got it figured out. They know what the judges are looking for. So we have some newcomers and then some seasoned people that are changing what they're doing.
And not every stew site decorates. You
No.
can just cook stew.
Yes.
Or you can do both. And it's lots of fun. And we take the kids. I'd be surprised how many families come in with small children and they're trying to juggle their plates and to get the kids served, and the little kids are all around. And that's exciting, too, to see that they're indoctrinating them with Hopkins County tradition so early.
They are. That's a memory I have. That's, as a kid, I remember there being so many people. You look around and you're like, oh my goodness,
They're all taller than
don't
you.
really see anything like that other than at the stew contest.
We are just about out of time, but I've really enjoyed this kind of wandering through what the stew is like, especially from the eyes of someone kind of new to it. So whether you're a seasoned participant or somebody new, please don't miss it. Saturday morning, the 28th, and don't get there at noon. You'll be too late.
Yes,
Get
ma'am.
out there early. Thank both of you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Higher education initiatives touted at the recent American Association of Community Colleges annual meeting have already been implemented or are underway at Parish Junior College, according to 3 regents who attended the meeting. Beginning with participation in achieving the dream over a decade ago to PJC's current participation in the National Pathways Project, PJC has been using data to improve student success to allow them to reach their goals. In the past year, PJC has been building on the work of House Bill 5 through the Pathways Project, assisting students to more quickly find their career paths and avoid taking unnecessary classes. PJC has also hired a full-time dual credit coordinator to work more closely with high schools in the 5 counties that make up the PJC service area. The regents noted specific moves in education, including the need for college foundations to shift from funding scholarships to covering the cuts made to federal and state funding, develop a culture of inclusion and greater diversity, as well as assistance beyond financial aid for students. The concept of helping those in college serves in understanding and embracing the rapid change of the digital age, and finding grant assistance to help PJC move forward. Here's Don Julian with sports.
The road to the playoffs for the Wildcats football team is easy to understand. 3 games to play, 3 games to win. Wildcats football coach Greg Owens talked about that, about Mount Pleasant, and about the bye week at his weekly media gathering Wednesday morning.
Bye week, what are your thoughts on that? Was it a good one? How was it?
Yeah. I mean, those things you can always speculate like we did last time. It was going to be good or bad, but really for us, it was good. The bad sense of it was, we wanted to get back out there and play, get a taste out of our mouth. I mean, that was the negative part of it. But I told the kids the other day that's met with the seniors, and I just said, I think that was the best bye week, most productive we've ever had that I can recall. Because their attitudes were great. We had a great plan. Got them out of there by 5:30 the other day. Got conditioning, but got stuff in and got back to work on the fundamental stuff. So all those things were good. And again, they had a great attitude, and they came to work every day. So it was very productive for us, and hopefully it's going to be very helpful in these last 3 ball games.
Kind of give you a chance to help some of the dings and the tweaks and all that.
Yeah, some of that
players
stuff.
have
Yeah,
in a long season.
Some of that stuff you're able to do those kind of things, but for the most part, we're in pretty good shape. We got a few here and there, but some of that stuff we're not going to be able to fix. So there's nothing you can do about it. But was able to slow down a little bit, and I've been impressed with them so far this week. Have come back. We've had a good Monday and a good Tuesday, and now we'll put together a good Wednesday and see where we go. But we like our plan, like what we're doing, like the way they're bouncing around.
Really, it's pretty straightforward for us. We have 3 weeks. We need to win them all.
Yeah,
Take
we
them
need
one at a time, but you need to win them.
Yeah, we need to win out. I mean, it's one at a time. It's all about this week. It's all about Mount Pleasant, but we understand the big picture too. We know where our back's against the wall and what we've got to do. But the great thing is we control our destiny. we're not dependent really on anybody else really except for ourselves. So, and everybody's got a little bit of scenario, and that's what's dangerous about Mount Pleasant. They have a scenario too. They need to win, but they need help. But still, they need to win also. So we talked about that with him, Coach Homer. We talked about that on Saturday morning after his ball game against Texas High Friday night. And so, they got it figured in too. So they're going to come out swinging. That's the thing about this week. It's very important. It sets up the final part of the year for everybody, and you kind of know where you're at after this week.
What about Mount Pleasant? How do they impress you?
They're just scrappy. They've got some dangerous speed. All right, but really they just scrappy. They fight and get after it. And, they're just tough. That's one of the things that kind of impressed me. We got to go see them live. Staff split up last week, and I went to Texas High and watched them in Mount Pleasant together. So it was I was impressed by how they kept battling and they got after it. They're a scrappy little crew that'll fight you and get on it. And so and again they got some weapons and some guys. We got to be careful that they don't get the ball in their hands. So. Worried about some of those long guys. I was impressed with their defensive backs, how they fly around, how they cover. I was really impressed by those guys. And so, just some tough kids.
How about the Mount Pleasant offense? So they mainly a running team, the passing?
They mainly run. They're going to run.
Are they spread?
Yes and yes and yes. They run about 4 different offenses. So we don't know
multiple.
No, not really. They run 4 different offenses.
Okay.
So, they've got everything from the Maryland eye to split back gun. They get in some wing stuff. They get some unbalanced stuff. So, they've got all these things that they're running at you. And some of it is just their personnel, what they're trying to do in it. But at the same time, it's also them trying to confuse you a little bit. Just trying to make you prepare for something else. So that's what we've had to do the last week and a half is prepare for multiple looks and make adjustments and do those kind of things. So they're trying to get the ball to their playmakers, and I understand that. So and trying to put you into bind formation wise too. So we got to be ready for that.
They got anybody really stands out? You talk about the offense. Any little KD cannons or any other cannons?
They got a cannon. They got a cannon that's on there, but he's not at the level that KD was at. Thank goodness. And but their little quarterback's very impressive. He's a left-handed guy, thick guy, can run the ball. Their offensive line's not as big as it's been in the past, but I'm very impressed by him, the toughness of him. And, we expect a heavy dose of run. He's not run much this year, but we kind of probably expect him to run quite a bit. One of their freshman running back, which is our leading rusher, was dinged up in the last ball game, so I'm not sure that he's going to be available for them. So they may let this quarterback, have some more opportunities to run and get after it. And again, they've got some receivers that when they can get it to them out there, they're scary. So some guys we're not going to punt to, we're not going to kick to, and we don't want to get them the ball in their hands very, very, very often.
Sound like you're talking about Dorian Glinton.
Mm-hmm.
He was a really effective running back behind that big line last year.
Yep.
With the freshman back, Iffy, could you see a scenario where he might slide back in the backfield?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I see that. I see that a lot. So, they'll have a plan, and I don't think the freshman kid's going to play, but you never know. But but I'm pretty sure he's not going to be there. So they'll have a plan. So we'll be adjusted. They're not going to change their whole offense. They'll just change some personnel, and they do that a bunch. They have some guys kind of play both ways a little bit. And, defensively, we're really concerned about their defensive ends, very long defensive ends, pretty athletic. Again, I've already talked about their secondary that I'm very impressed with, that'll fly around and make plays. So we can't have errant throws and that kind of stuff. We've got to take care of the ball and make sure, they're giving us some stuff, but we got to make plays. And our biggest enemy so far has kind of been ourselves. We just kind of self-imploded. We're just imploding, and here we go. And, we got some issues then. So we got to take care of the football, keys to the game, take care of the football. We need to tackle extremely well. We need to create some turnovers. Those are some things. And when we get momentum, we need to ride that momentum and keep going. So there's some ball games where we had some opportunities, ifs and buts here. Instead of 5-2, we kind of felt like maybe we should be 2-5 with some right breaks at the right time. So, but we can't go back and relive all that. But that's just where we are. So those opportunities, we got to make the most of them. Take care of the football is probably the biggest thing for the whole game.
On their defense, any particular formation, they odd or even?
They're even. It's an even front.
Okay.
And they, again, it's just, there's nothing tricky about them. They're going to line up, get off blocks, go run, try to make plays. And again, the defensive ends are the ones that have given us the most concern because of their length and their athleticism. And so we've got to make sure we have them tied up.
How do you think y'all match up for it at the line for his size and everything? You said they're not as big.
Small.
They're not as big as they've been in the past, and so, you know, we got to be nasty. You know, we got to play. We got to come off and not just sit here and, you know, we got to come off with some force and get after them again. They move pretty well, so I've been pretty impressed by them. But we got to get locked up on them and make things happen.
Our quarterback rotation be pretty much what we've seen before.
Yeah, we like both those guys. When those guys gets hot, we're going to ride them and kind of see what we've got going there. And, you know, we've got some other things in store for those guys, and slide them in and out of the slot positions and some other areas. And so we're excited about what we got going there and trying to keep everybody fresh and going. And whoever's making plays, you know, make it happen, whatever it takes. Right now we got to generate as much offense as we possibly can and get points on the board.
Whoever's got the hot hand going, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
After all the district volleyball games were played, the Lady Cats and Texas High ended up in a first-place tie with 10-2 records. A game to determine the district champion and playoff seeding will take place Friday at Mount Pleasant before the football game. I talked with Lady Cats volleyball coach Justin Manus on courtside Tuesday night, shortly after the Lady Cats won a senior night match against Mount Pleasant 3-0.
It seems like every time we step on the floor, we get a little bit better, and that's what I'm glad to see going into the playoffs. I knew tonight it was going to be tough to beat us. You know, we have 6 seniors that they wanted to leave this floor with a W, and I think they were going to make everybody else rise up to their intensity and get it done.
You could almost tell when you called timeout, you were usually not a lot. What can you say except keep it up, right?
And that's it. I just tell them, hey, you guys are playing well. You know, I might tell them if there's something open, but other than that, just, hey, you got to keep tone, keep momentum, and keep pushing.
Anybody really impress you tonight? I mean, just the whole team to me.
I thought the whole team was great. I thought Maggie McGlamory had a really good match tonight. She seemed to be everywhere picking balls up, and I just thought that everybody did a good job of getting the balls up and setting it up so we can hit it. I mean, it really seemed like they were really determined, hey, we want to get swings. And so they were there getting digs, picking it up, and we were playing it back at them.
You know, you looked at, there were 2 or 3 players had right at 10 kills, and when the ball moves around that much, there's nobody to really key on, is there?
That's it, and that's the whole purpose of our offense. I mean, we want to move the ball. We want to make the block keep guessing where we're going, and, you know, that's what good volleyball teams do. I'm extremely, extremely proud of them. You know, I don't know when the last time was that we finished like this. And our next step is getting to T-High, if that's who we have, and beating them and taking that #1 seed.
Well, that was an awfully tough match here, and can it happen again? I guess so.
Oh, definitely. You know, and I think the girls know what to expect. And if we come out and play consistent, you know, we were kind of up and down with them last time. If we can stay consistent, you know, I think we can take care of business.
And I just can't help but remember that very first district game, and they're at Texarkana, and still remember, and I imagine the girls would tell you, we let that one slip away.
Oh, we definitely did. We're up 12-9 in set 5 and just had a mishap on a serve and just lost momentum. That's volleyball. You lose momentum for a second against a good team, and they're going to take advantage of it. But, you know, I think we learned from that, and we don't want to let that happen again.
All right, let's see what we do know. What is the status if you're tied with Texas High? Do you have an agreement there, or is it kind of 80%, 90%? What do you got?
It depends on what T-High does tonight. It looks like if they beat Greenville tonight, then we're definitely tied. And we'll go in and play that. We're first seed, looks like we're Wiley East. For second seed, it looks like it's going to be Forney.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it going to be Mount Pleasant Friday night, 6 o'clock?
We're shooting for it. We're trying to get that in stone. I'm almost 99% sure that's where we'll be. We just need to get with T-High coach and make sure that's definitely what we're going to do. But right now it's Mount Pleasant, 6 p.m. on Friday.
You like 10 in a row going into all this seed game and playoffs?
Yeah, I love it. I told the girls in practice yesterday, I said I haven't seen too many teams that start district 0-2 and then just catch on fire and win out. And, you know, they know that they're a good team. And that's what I want them to know is that, you know, this is a team that you can't tell what they're going to do when they step on the floor. It can be a lot of really good things that we do.
And for the second game I can remember, these long serve strings, of 6 in a row, 7 in a row, all night long.
Oh, most definitely. And we've done that in the past 3 or 4 matches. We'll get somebody back there and they just keep serving. And, we work on aggressive serving. We worked on that during the off season and it's paying off now. And, there's a lot of risk in it, but there also is a lot of reward.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.